Before we get into today's episode, just a few announcements. First of all, and most importantly, I am doing a free Date Better as a Mom webinar on December 15th. So there are still a few days to be able to register for this webinar. Click the link in the show notes to be able to join me and a bunch of other moms as I give you some foundational tips on improving your dating life. And I'm going to give you the lowdown on the Date Better program, which launches in January. And you can also find the link for that program in the show notes so that you can get information on what to expect and also get your coins together so you'll be able to join me and other women or really other moms in a community where I will be providing you all of the support and guidance you need to improve your dating journey and improve your romantic prospects. Okay, enjoy this episode. Welcome back to the Better to Better podcast, Mom Moments, where I invite moms to sip wine and have a good time. I'm here with my friend, Devyn with a Y.
Devon with a Y.
Who can be described as human, woman, mother, let's see, all around badass, serial dater.
Serial dater.
Devyn from the block.
Devon from the block.
Devon
From Fairfield County to the Bronx and back.
A Bronx Fairfield County mashup.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you for joining me.
Cheers, cheers.
So, what's been high lately? What's been low lately?
What's been high, like in my life?
Yeah, like a positive. It could be something small. And what's maybe not been so great? Highs and lows.
Damn, that's a loaded question. Okay, I'm gonna just like for the immediate.
Mm-hmm.
My highs have been going on trips, which include every time I go away,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, some Caribbean man just has to find me. And I'm always going and I'm like, no, no, I'm not gonna hook up with one this time. There's no way. But just fucking happens every time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my last trip, I met a Caribbean guy again, and I was there. I spent, 2 weeks there and 3 days with him, and then I was back on the island 4 weeks later.
Okay.
So I just got back about 4 days ago.
Okay.
Went and stayed with him. I mean, can we be like very explicit on this? Are children listening?
No,
Okay.
This is not a made for children podcast. There'll be an explicit
Okay.
notice. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I just went there and had some of the best sex in my
I see. I was like, I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Like literally, I've never
I
had so
love
much
this for
sex.
you. I love this for you.
It was like I got there and it was like, I mean, first of all, he's 5'8" and he's like two like very small frame skinny. I actually showed him, I spent a weekend with my friends, my high school friends, so we fucking bust each other's chops all the time.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I met this guy and I send him a photo with his shirt off. Like I'm like, and he's got locks and I'm like, isn't he sexy? Because he's really small framed and 5'8". And my friend was just like, he looks like he's in need of some Meals on Wheels.
No.
I was like, listen, bitch, you know what they say, it's always the little ones. It's always those little mofos that got the big thing to make it up and they know what they're doing.
You had a good
Because
time.
girl, I had the best time of my life.
I love
Nothing
this.
but being on the boat, sailing with my new Caribbean lover, and some great sex, great drinking, great dancing, great fun.
So, do you have intentions of going back?
Yes.
All right.
Already booked.
Oh, ooh, for when?
February 4th.
Hmm.
Yeah. I might go for New Year's too.
News to me. Hot off the presses. Okay.
Hot off the presses.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
So another adventure.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Correct.
That's definitely a dating adventure. I described you as a serial dater, so
Yeah.
meaning you've been doing lots of dating.
Correct. I have been technically single for 2 years, and something about when I turned 40. So I turned 40. I got divorced and well left my ex-husband, my second ex-husband, by the way. We'll get to that. Second ex-husband, and I turned 40. And I swear, like when I turned 40, I felt like someone sprinkled some magical dust on me. And I swear, like all the guys were coming at me, and it was just this different aura. And my sex drive is just totally different. And I've just been thoughting and trotting for about 2 years. And it's been amazing. Yeah, like everybody was so worried that because I used to be the type of woman that always had to have a man, always had to have a relationship, oh, like couldn't be alone. And like this is the first time in my life that I'm actually I don't want to say I'm alone because I definitely have situationships, but
Right.
I live alone. I pay my own
You're not in a
bills.
committed
I'm not in a committed
partnership.
relationship
Yeah, yeah.
where before I was, but now I'm finding myself being this serial dater and having fun. And anytime a man even talks about commitment, I get this
Mm.
crazy anxiety in my chest. And I'm like,
Like what?
what? Oh God, no. Yeah. So it's been 2 years of lots of dating, lots of sex, lots of good times, lots of traveling, and just really exploring myself.
There you go.
And I'm
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
And you do got those judgy moms though. They
100%.
be
100%.
judging. And you know me, I don't listen to anybody. I'm like, okay, I could give two shits what you think. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and that's it.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm doing.
good for you.
Hmm.
I mean, this really is like about like everyone's journey
Hmm.
because so I spent 2 solid years single very intentionally
Mm.
after my previous relationship before my current, marriage, right?
Correct.
And so I in that process, like you were saying, like when people would start talking like commitment and things like that, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mm.
And like for me, it wasn't this thing of like, because I knew that I did ultimately want to find a committed partnership. So it wasn't like a hesitation because I was like, oh, I don't want to, commit to someone. But it was
Mm.
definitely a hesitation because I'm like, in my past, I just slid into and fell into relationships.
Yeah.
So it's like any relationship that I'm going to enter moving forward has to be this very intentional, thoughtful
Hmm.
thing where this person's checking all the right boxes.
Hmm.
And so when that was not happening, so like I would meet guys who I would have a good time with.
Hmm.
It was wonderful to date them.
Yep.
Some of them were lovely, but in terms of life partner, there are a whole bunch of other boxes that needed to be checked, and they might
Mm.
be ready. They're like, "Oh," I had one guy tell me. I remember he said, you're an asshole, and he said it playfully, but he was like, "You're an asshole." I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're the total package, and you don't want to settle down." I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously. Why would I
Yeah.
want
We ain't
like
settling.
that part?" I'm like,
No.
and
Yeah.
like you're fun to hang out with, but not my life partner material, and so I was very intentional, agreed of like I was like,
Hmm.
don't we're gonna have here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a
I
long
always say
time.
that here for a good
Ooh.
time, not a long time. Who is
Ooh.
Mister here for a good time, not a long time versus who are the guys who have real like life partnership potential?
Hmm.
They're different.
They're very different, and I'm
So
still trying to figure that out.
as you should, and that's why you date.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
That's why you date.
dating and yeah, I don't know what that partner looks like. And eventually, yeah, I'd like to get there, but it's not my top priority. So I'm just feeling them all out. And most of them don't work anyway, so it's all good. But
That's what it
yeah,
is.
but in the meantime, we're gonna have a little fun. Yes.
Yeah. Have a good time.
Intentional dating, yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
I don't know when I'm gonna get there.
I
It's
mean,
been a long
you
time.
get there if you want to get like again, everyone's individual journey.
Hmm.
Some people are out to be partnered, some people are out to be married, some people are out to be in a committed relationship and not be married. Some
Hmm.
people are out to have friends with benefits and to or to continuously casually date. The point is like it needs to work for you. So back to like that sense of like meeting some judgy moms or just judgy people in general. It's like,
Hmm.
well, you know, not your thing then. Good thing you're not living my life,
Yeah. You ain't
It,
paying my bills.
that part.
You don't pay my bills. So until you pay my bills, your opinion really doesn't count.
Yeah.
As long as I always look at it, as long as my kids are good, they're healthy, they're well taken care of, have a roof over their head, and they know they're loved, they're okay, then I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
As long as it's not affecting them in a negative manner, we're all good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good for you. I'm glad to hear this because I would say like if we go back a year or so, I remember having some of these conversations with you
Hmm.
about like you don't have to be looking at like, oh, could we be something like the guy? Could we, is he
Yeah.
is, should we um is there commitment potential, stuff like that. I was like, Devon, casually
Hmm.
date,
Hmm.
which means dating multiple people at once. And I always say that I'm not saying having a relationship
Yeah.
with multiple people at once, which is totally fine too if both people involved or all people involved are cool with that. That is polyamory. That's ethical non-monogamy and all of that. But I'm talking about if people have the intention of being monogamous, the idea is that you casually date, which means you romantically interview,
Hmm.
you try things with different people to sort out who it makes sense for you to continue to give your time and energy to
Mm,
and who not to. And that those people should be doing the same thing with you. So
yes. Yes. Correct.
date.
Yes. Yes. I mean, there is this one guy that you know about that I've been dating for over a year. I mean, and there's been some on and off switches, but whatever. He just can't seem to quit me, you know? And at me as well. It's almost like that cat and mouse game, but I'm pretty much over it now. But anyway, he's very like wants to date me, very like we've been seeing each other for over a year, thinks that I'm his girlfriend. I'm like, no, we're not. That's not an assumed thing. We've had
Right.
that conversation. I'm like, I'm not your girlfriend. You cannot assume. We've never had that conversation. It's never been an agreement to me.
It's exclusivity conversation
Yeah,
or committed relationship
that
conversation.
conversation never happened. And he tried to tell me, well, you're the only one I've been with this whole time. And I didn't respond because I'm not going to sit there and lie to his face because if he only knew what I was up to the whole
Right.
time we've been
Right.
dating, he'd probably hate women for the rest of their life. But I mean, let's be real, I've been dating and seeing him. And I really did like this guy. You know, checked a lot of boxes. I still like him. I think he's a good person, but his goals don't align with my goals. And his priorities are get a house, be there for my daughter, which is great, my family, and he has a job like, you know, working away or whatever. And I just feel like even though those are his priorities, I'm still the last priority on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, great, you want to get this home and you want to be there for your daughter and in your family, but I should be more a part of your life right now, and
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, well, these are my goals. And I said, okay, that's great that these are your goals. I get it. But I want a man that loves me, makes me feel desired, makes me feel safe. I was like, I'm not just trying to see you when it works for your schedule. No, it
Yeah.
needs to work for mine too, where
Yeah.
he'll ask me to do something. I'm like, I'll move mountains for him. I'll get my mom or my ex to watch the kids and cancel appointments and make rearrangements. But if I ask him to do something,
Right.
it's just a hard no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. So I told him, he said, okay, so do you want to stop communicating? This is recently. I said, yes, that's the only way I can move forward and open up the space for someone else to come in to show up for me like I show up for them.
Right.
And he replied, do you know how bad this hurts? And to me, I'm like, if this is how you love and you really think I'm your girl, I really don't want it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I said, that's great. Those are your goals and I respect them, but I have different goals and I need to respect them too. So
Yeah.
my goals aren't aligning,
Yeah, what
you
you're
know?
talking about is like a lack of reciprocity. It needs to be
Yeah,
mutually beneficial to both of you.
exactly.
And the truth of the matter is, yeah, all of his priorities are understandably appropriate. The reality is, though, he may not be in a place to commit to someone. And
Mm-hmm.
that's that too, which is to say, like, okay, getting a house, being there for your daughter, all those things are your priorities, as they should
Mm-hmm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
Fair.
if you're going to choose to commit with someone or want to be in some sort of relationship with someone, you also have to find space and time for
Yeah.
that to happen. And if you can't, then it may not be the time for you, meaning him,
Yeah.
to try to partner with somebody
Mm-hmm.
because they are going to expect your time and energy and for you to fit that in a mutually beneficial way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can want something and not be in the place where he can bring that into his life in an
Mm-hmm.
appropriate way.
Yeah. And
So
I think he's just having a hard like, time accepting that because he wants his cake and eat it too. And it's like, I'm not just going to sit around and wait for you to reach your goals and then you're going to be with me. I'm 41 years old. I mean, I feel like I'm on my, not my last leg, but I'm in my prime right now. And I'm
yeah,
like, I've been married twice. I have two kids. Like, I've done all that. So, like, if I choose to be with somebody in my next adventure, it's gonna be a good choice.
yeah.
And I'm not rushing it because I've had all that. You know, I'm
Hmm.
like, I've done all that. I've done the marriage, I've done the kids. I have it. I'm successful in my career. I own my own home. Like, I don't need anybody. I just want a partner to share my time with,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I don't know what that looks like all the time because I seem to met it's like all the poor guys are like the best guys, right?
Mm,
And then you met these like guys that have their shit together and then they end up just being a bunch of weirdos. And like this is
mm,
what I'm experiencing so far in my dating life.
right.
So it's kind of like, do you date someone because you just have some like serious love for them and they don't have much to offer you outside of love, but maybe you could grow with them and they
Right.
have potential, but should I fall in love with potential? Anyone I be with, anyone that I'm with, I need to make sure I'm with for who they are, I met them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
love
that's a
that
really
for
good point.
that.
That's a
Yeah.
really good point because you can't guarantee the potential piece.
No.
And I do think that that's where that blurry line is, and it is about
Mm-hmm.
trying to find that balance, like you said,
Yeah.
of like I think yeah, at the foundation, right? You need to be
Mm-hmm.
attracted to and interested in the person. You need to enjoy your actual time with them, like
Mm-hmm.
foundationally, that has to be there. But then, which those things make a great dating partner, like
Mm-hmm.
someone who you enjoy spending time with, you're attracted to them, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you're going to want to spend time with them and date them.
Mm-hmm.
When you start thinking about, okay, life partner material, somebody who I want to commit to, um, then you start bringing in some of these other very practical aspects of life. Do they financially take care of themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Do they take care of their bodies and minds? If they have
Mm-hmm.
kids, are they caring for their kid? Like these sort of
Mm-hmm.
like, do they give me time? Like, do they actually spend time with me? All of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Those things are going to matter in terms of the idea of like living or having a future with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like you're saying, it can be hard to find that ideal balance. I'm not even going to say a perfect balance, but
Yeah.
just the right balance where I
Mm-hmm.
really like this person, I'm really into this person as they are,
Mm-hmm.
and I see that they are doing things that either currently doing things or very
Mm-hmm.
much on the verge of doing things that are going to be good for a future with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then like seeing from there, because to your
Mm-hmm.
point, like sometimes you might find a person who you're really into them as a person and they haven't like met all their goals or their full potential yet in
Mm-hmm.
certain area practical parts of life, career, money, education, whatever some of those things are.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, all right, but do I let this go because of that, or do I move forward with this, and like where
Mm-hmm.
is that? And if that is a tricky part, and that
Yeah.
is the part where I do think that's where one of the reasons why you do the casual dating.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always say there's still a relationship category between casually dating and committed relationship, and that's exclusively dating.
Yes.
And so then that's why you move into the exclusively dating, which is like, yeah, we're only going to date each other, but this is not us saying we're living life together. Where this is not us saying we're committing to a future together just yet. Because
Okay.
for exactly that point where it's like, I'm into you, I've been enjoying time with you, so dating you is wonderful. We have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
There are also things you're doing with your life now or that I see you doing with your life in the near future
Mm-hmm.
that make you a good option for also considering, a life with you or a
Mm.
partnership.
Mm.
Let's exclusively date while we
Mm.
kind of figure that out, right? And then decide if a committed relationship is a good idea.
So what does exclusively dating look like? For example, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm say take Caribbean man,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meals on Wheels. I'm gonna take Meals on Wheels, for example. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm,
Yeah.
drinking wine. Okay, go, go.
Okay. His other name is Pinky because back in the Caribbean they have like, oh my God, if he watches this, he's gonna kill me. But anyway, if they all have like nicknames and they're
Mm-hmm.
all like literal meanings and like I'm on the boat with him while I'm down there last and like because he's the captain of the boat and they take like tourists to the Mystique or whatever and they're all like Pinky, Pinky, Pinky and I'm like Pinky and they're like I was like why do you guys call him Pinky? They were like because he's the size of my pinky.
Oh,
I
Pinky.
think he's so cute. Anyway, say I commit to him. Or no, I commit to exclusively dating.
Mm-hmm.
Say I'm home and I'm like in the bar or outside
Mm-hmm.
and on a dating app and someone, I mean, maybe I'm not on the dating app, but I get a message or whatever. Someone approaches me,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, are you single?
Right.
Can I talk to you?" What do you say to that person?
So a couple of things. One, it is ultimately about the conversation between you and that person, so you and Pinky,
Hmm.
about like what are our agreements in this exclusive dating thing, because
Okay.
that will ultimately answer it, right? If you guys are like, well, I don't know, we're not flirting with people, or if we're flirting, we're not exchanging numbers, we're not
Mm,
contacting them, right? In my mind, when I think of exclusively dating, the idea is that you're only dating that person. So I guess if someone approached you, it wouldn't go beyond flirting because you wouldn't be planning to date that person.
mm,
When you're in the casually dating phase,
mm.
you're dating whoever.
Whoever you
When
want.
you're exclusively dating, you're saying to this person that you had been casually dating that like, hey, whatever, I've been dating these people. I'm gonna stop dating these other people. I
Hmm.
only want to date you. This is not me saying I'm your girlfriend, your wife, your life partner, any of that. But
Mm,
this is me saying that this is us saying
mm,
that we are going to go out on dates with just each other. We're
mm,
going to be engaging with only each other for romantic purposes,
mm,
and we can move from there to decide if we want to take this thing to a commitment or if we want to go back to our casual dating ways,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
break this thing off completely.
Okay.
So, like, in terms of what you would say to this guy who approaches you, it's really based on the agreements that you and the person you're exclusively dating make.
Mm.
So, if you guys in that exclusively dating conversation
Mm-hmm.
say like, "Hey, we're in different countries,
Mm-hmm.
and so when we're away, it's we do what we want to
Mm.
do," then that's fine. It's
Yeah.
all about the agreement between the two people. Back to my
Okay.
whole thing about like non-monogamy. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with non-monogamy if everybody involved agrees that
Agrees
that's
to
what you're
it.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the agreements.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, ideally, it would be nice to have like a Caribbean person and then a
and
domestic
a
person,
stateside person. Like,
right?
well, yeah, those are
I
the
mean,
conversations you'd want to have.
I know, and you know what? Like, I've never been like a non-monogamous person, and I've had like my ex-husband try to push that on me. And I was never about it. But now, like that I've been in this dating world and I've done it all and I've had the family, I feel like I see a little more gray than everything always black and white.
Hmm.
However, that problem with that I have with it is this natural thing called jealousy, right?
Hmm.
So like, okay, cool, we agree we could when we're not together, we could go have relationships with other people or have sex with other people or whatever. If I visualize
Someone who you really like.
having sex with another woman,
Yeah,
I that burns. I don't think I could handle it.
that's fair. That is
You
fair.
know?
I mean, for me, right, when I think about, so I say there's these different, what I think it's seven, I don't know, I'd have to count them, relationship categories.
Okay.
Every person on this earth we have some sort of relationship with. For most people, it's a stranger. Like there's what, 7 billion people on earth. Most people to us are a stranger. But the first
Mm,
category is stranger.
mm,
Then we would say acquaintance. So that's like
mm,
a friend of a friend or a coworker or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Then we'd say platonic friend. So that's any of your friendships, male or female, whatever, where there's no romantic involvement.
Okay.
Then we would say friends with benefits. So there's
Mm,
some sort of romantic involvement, but there's not a commitment, and there's not even dating for potential necessarily.
mm,
Because next would be casually dating, people who you're
mm,
actually like going out with and trying to get to know to see if
mm.
maybe there's something.
Okay.
Then we have exclusively dating. Then we have committed relationships. So I guess there's seven, right?
Okay.
What I'm saying is, to your point about like imagining somebody who you really like
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with somebody else and that, you know, causing jealousy, it brings up for me where I've always said like the most ideal like friends with benefit situation is someone who you are attracted to physically, could be intellectually,
Mm.
whatever, where you have a good time with them, but you have fully determined that a life partnership with them doesn't make sense or isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Because then you're able to engage with them from a place of fun and enjoyment, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's intellectually, sexually, whatever, the
Mm.
time you spend hanging out, going out and doing stuff together, whatever you guys do,
Yeah.
right? But you're also recognizing like this is not someone who I'm seriously going to consider
Okay.
for like life partnership for whatever the reason. There could be a
Yeah.
lot of reasons why that is.
Yeah.
Maybe you know that he can't be monogamous to save his life, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe he lives a lifestyle that you're not even down with or don't agree with.
Yeah.
But you have a good time with this person, you enjoy their company, so it's like let's
Mm.
leave that where it's at.
Yeah.
And so the idea of them hanging out with other women and all that sort of stuff is like you can take it for the fact that like I'm not trying to seriously consider this person like as a real life contender
Mm.
versus somebody who you can really picture possibly having a future with. It's gonna sting
Yeah.
to know that they're
There was somebody
with
else.
somebody else.
So I think the problem for me with like friends with benefits, I don't know how to separate the emotional piece to sex. I like if I have sex with someone, I mean, even if you meet them on the first date, whatever, you have this like emotional like it sounds stupid to say you have an emotional connection, but there's this attractiveness and this feeling of like, oh, when this person touches me, I get those sparks or whatever.
Right.
Like some type of emotional connection. I have to have that to have sex with somebody. So if I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, okay, they're cute and they look good, but I don't have that emotional connection with them, I don't think I could have sex with them. So I've always struggled with the friends with benefit, just friends with benefits.
Right, right. Because if you are having sex with them, then there's some sort of emotional connection there for
Correct.
you.
Thanks for more working.
Yeah, of course. That's it.
Sorry.
That's what we're doing.
Woo.
Um, yeah, I know, and it is challenging, and it just may be that yeah, friends with benefits relationships just don't work for you, right?
Yeah.
This is a thing about everyone knowing and really learning what
Mm-hmm.
is and isn't for them, and what that is can change in your life throughout phases and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So just like I hear you saying what I feel like mimics a lot of my experience, where like before I had kids. even though I was not in a rush to have kids, I did know that I would someday have kids and
Mm-hmm.
want kids. So
Mm-hmm.
how I dated or looked for, I couldn't really call it dating. Did I date? How I fell into relationships
Mm-hmm.
was very much, it was very different than
Yeah.
after I'd had my kids because I
Mm-hmm.
was, entering relationships or attempting to date from this perspective of there is a time frame in which I want to
Yeah.
get married, have kids, all of that,
Yeah.
right? So I think I was willing to overlook a number of things about the people I was with,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
being like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, well, we get along enough or we enjoy each other enough. They also want kids. Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
Whereas after I had my kids and I knew I didn't want to have any more kids,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff when I was like, no, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to be pretty amazing, actually. Like I
Yeah.
don't there's not much I'm willing to look over
Yeah.
because I'm not trying to like make sure I have kids or get married
Yeah.
or any of that. I
Yeah.
am shoot like you're saying, like if I'm gonna bring somebody into my life at this time,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be a lot of positivity, very little
Mm-hmm.
strife, like not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of I was way less tolerant
Mm.
of the bullshit and the all of that than I
Yeah.
was when I was not just younger, but before I had kids and knew that
Yeah.
that's what I was aiming for.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
changes things.
No, for sure. Because before I had kids, well, I had my first daughter very young. Well, to me, it was young. I was 22. And, I always grew up like, oh, I want a family because I never had that family. And I always attached to other families. So, like, in life, I was always searching for that love and having that family, like, unit. So I made choices to be with people or men and I ignored the red flags and settled a lot of time. And then with my second husband, I ignored every single red flag from the first date because I was in a very vulnerable place. I had just got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I thought nobody would ever like date me
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't know at that point. And I want to say I got diagnosed 4 months, no, not 4 months. I want to say 4 weeks after I dated my first ex-husband,
Okay.
the father of my son. And from date one, I was like, oh, red flag. Fun time, but red motherfucking flag. Okay. And I continued to date it. This is a great story. So I met him in February. I want to say it was like February 2nd, right?
Okay.
I was working in the city for Coach, and it's Valentine's Day. I met this guy not even 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So I'm sitting, this is before COVID, and everybody's still in the office. You got your little cubicles. You didn't even have
Right.
laptops to take home. You had desktops, okay? This is like 2013 or 2012. And I'm sitting there, and everybody's getting their Valentine's Day gifts, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, whatever.
Right.
All of a sudden, the mailman walks by me, and he looks at me like this. And I looked at him, I go, why are you looking at me like that? And he just starts laughing and walks away. All of a sudden, he comes back with a ginormous fucking
Oh
box.
wow.
And now, because the box is so fucking big, the whole office is surrounding my desk. Okay?
Oh
And
shit.
I'm like sitting there like this, who the hell
Right.
sent me this box? Now I'm like, is this a Valentine's Day gift or what? So now I got the whole, like I'm on the spot with all these people, and I open this box, and it's a 5 foot Vermont teddy bear with a heart with a note from him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
No, because my friends were like, this is like the scene, this is the beginning scene of a Lifetime
Right,
series.
right.
And
It's like
like,
love bombing 101.
love, I mean, but me, I was like, oh my
The
God.
thought of the teddy bear is cute, but yes, you also just met this person.
I just met him, and he sent me something else. Maybe it was some lingerie in there, I believe, and like some chocolates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One sir.
Yeah.
Sir. Yeah, okay.
Do you know how much those 5 foot Vermont teddy bears cost? I mean, it was over the top, like it was like red flag everywhere.
Yeah.
But for me, because I was like, oh, this is week 2, right? So then I'm like, so I'll never forget. Like, I'm like, how am I gonna bring this home? So I left it in the office because I'm like,
Right.
what am I gonna do for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks or whatever? I want to say a week later, I found out that he had a wife. He told me, hey, my ex, well, I have an ex, or no, I have a wife. We're not living together, but she came to therapy today, and we decided we're going to try and work it out. This is what he told me.
Gosh, I don't know this
You don't know any of this
story.
shit. Yeah. So I was like, is he serious? You just sent me a 5.5 foot Vermont teddy
Yes.
bear for Valentine's Day, and now you're gonna try to work it out about with the wife that I didn't even know about, first of all. So he tries to explain it. So I tell everybody at work, right? So it's like the beginning of a Lifetime movie, and we cut the teddy bear's head off, and I we write a note here, please give this to your wife, shove it back in the box, and we mail it to his house. Swear to God. Yeah, true story. I actually have a post on Facebook that my friend posted, my coworker, and he was like, "It's me with the bear," and it says "beginning of a Lifetime movie." I could show it to you. Swear to God. Yeah.
And so
We're
I am curious what he did. I mean, because this person ended up becoming your husband. I'm just
yeah.
curious what
Yeah.
happened with the like. So he got the
He
package,
got the package.
and what did he
And
like?
he freaked out and threw it in the garbage can. And he went and brought it to the dumpster at the CVS down the street before his ex-wife saw that. Or his wife saw it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the red flags. And then so the other red flag was I could tell he was like a bit sexual and a bit anyway, and he kind of like it was almost like he was grooming me and like slowly bringing into like, yeah, like I've had threesomes before, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
And he kind of like said, would you like be into it? And whenever a guy asks me if I would have a threesome, I always throw it back at them. I'm like, only if you let me have a threesome with a guy first. And 99.9 of the percent of the time, they're like, oh no, he would never do that. I go, yeah, then I would never watch you screw a girl right in front of my face. But him, it was a little different. He's like, okay. I'm
You're like,
like,
whoa,
oh,
okay,
that's different.
all right.
I was like, oh,
Plot
oh,
twist.
what? Plot twist. Here we go. Okay, he's down with me. I was like, is he gonna have sex with a guy? Is he not gonna have sex? I'm like, well, how does this work? Anyway, kept hinting that stuff, and finally I realized that he was, I would say, a bit of a sex addict. There was key things that were very off. Like he said, yeah, me and my wife used to swing. Would you want to go? I was like, never will I ever do any of this shit, right? Ever. So I literally cut it off. Okay.
Right.
I went back to Brooklyn. He was living in Staten Island. I went back to Brooklyn. I told my brother, I'm like, no, I cannot, no. And he kept calling me and wouldn't give it up. And I'm 28 at this time. I'm still young, living in the city with a kid. I'm a single mom. She's 5 years old, and keeps calling me, and I'm just like, okay. And he at one point he goes, "Do you think you could meet me halfway when it came to the threesomes and sex stuff?" And I looked at my brother and I go, "Meet you halfway?
What does that look like?
What does that look like? Like having a threesome with a little person? Like what the fuck? Well, what's halfway look
I need
like?"
to know. What did he tell
Yeah.
you? What's
He
halfway?
never really explained it. He was like maybe like having sex in public or something like in the park. And I'm like, yo, this is some crazy
He's
shit.
like, will you do something that's kind of sexually edgy with me? Pretty much
Yes.
to like,
Yes, there was some impulsivity. No, man, I don't know this guy from a ham sandwich. I've probably known him for a month and a half at this point. Anyway, I cut him off completely. I'm moving on with my life. I'm trying to date in New York City, which is awful, just goddamn awful, with a kid at that. And so, when I had met him, though I want to say a week after I'd met him, my legs started like having a numbness to them. And at this point in my life, I'm like, I want a husband, I want like a family, like that's all I really wanted, you
right.
know? And like, yes, I had my job and I was always focused to make sure because I needed to make sure that I could take care of my kid, right? So I was always very diligent about that. But I wanted that so bad, right? So I'll never forget, my legs started going numb and it just got worse and worse. So I was like, let me go to the doctor. So I went to orthopedic doctor and he was like, okay, it sounds like a pinched nerve or something. So I'm doing chiropractor, I'm doing everything. And like after a few weeks, I tell the doctor, I'm like, it's not getting better. He's like, can you like feel your toes? I'm like, I can't. It feels like I'm walking with cement blocks, right? So he tells me, he's like, all right, okay, let's do an MRI. Let's see what's going on. I'm like, all right. So I go to the MRI and I said, cause I was like, you need to tell me the results. Cause at this point I'm freaking out because my mom has multiple sclerosis, right? So I'm like so I go do my MRI. He's like, listen, I'm gonna call you right away I'm gonna have the MRI tech, X-ray tech, whatever they are, call me with the results and I'm gonna call you because he knew I was panicked. So I go in. I'm not talking to my ex-husband at this point at all. Not my ex-husband at the time, but
Right.
And so he calls me after my MRI and he goes, I can't officially diagnose you because I'm an orthopedic doctor, but it looks like it's multiple sclerosis. So here I am. in the city by myself. My daughter's in Midtown that I got to go pick up still from school, right? And I was just immediate.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be able to walk. Like I was like, I'm going to just jump in front of the 4 train.
Yeah.
So I like had a breakdown and I called my dad and I said, and my dad lived in Connecticut. My dad's like an old school Russian, like crazy person. So, but such a good guy, like will always have your back. So I call him and I'm crying and he goes, I go, I still gotta go pick up Maya, blah, blah, blah. He goes, this is what you're gonna do. Where are you? And I told him, he goes, you're gonna go here. You're going to go to the bar and you're going to order a shot and a beer. And you keep taking that shot and beer until you get here. Literally, when I got to the bar that he told me to go to, it was an Irish pub. I take a picture of a shot and a beer and I posted it on Facebook. So every year the memory comes up and it's the shot and the beer. And by the time my dad, he must have like gunned it to the city. It took him like an hour and 20 minutes to get there. He comes in the bar. I am wasted by the time he gets it. He was like my hero that day. Gets me in the car. We go get my daughter, brings me back to Brooklyn, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, I am so vulnerable. And I'm thinking to myself, because they don't, when you first get diagnosed, you don't know what type of MS you have. It
Right.
could be progressive. I mean, some people get it where it's primary progressive and you're in a wheelchair within like a year. You know what I mean? There's like different levels of it. So they don't know exactly what type you have until they monitor it for a while. So like I was there, I was like, no one's ever gonna date me. And so I go home, I'm like, I do my steroid treatment, I'm getting a little back to normal, blah, blah, blah. And I think I'm handicapped. So I literally go on a handicap dating website. No, true story. And
talk about 0 to 100.
0 to 100. That's Devon. That's Devon with a Y. 0 to 100. So I'm on the laptop. Let me try this out. And my brother, bless his soul, comes in and he goes, "What are you doing?" And there's a guy in a wheelchair like this. Sorry, but that's just how it was. And I was like, I'm on the handicap dating website because he was like, delete the fucking app. You're not handicapped. Get off, you stop. And I was like, okay. Like I was devastated. I mean, it really was my lowest of my low. And the guy in the chair, it was bad, but that's cool that there's handicap dating websites for people. I mean, I think that's wonderful, but I guess I wasn't in that category yet. So I thought that was it for me. So I still have, sex addict calling me every other day. And I haven't answered his text, but they would still. He was.
Okay, so he was constantly contacting you.
Oh, pursuing me, never. I mean, and I don't even know if there was a block.
Right,
At that time.
then,
Yeah. I mean, we were talking 2012,
Yeah.
2013. So anyway, um, I decide I'm in my depressed moment. I decide, okay, I go, okay, enough. I go, I'm really stressed out right now. And I don't need anything else to stress me out. And he was like, well, please let me come talk to you. So my vulnerable ass decides, okay, let him come. And he comes right over. And I'm like, I'm just gonna tell him I have MS and he's gonna leave me the fuck alone, right? So I get in his car, he comes down, pulls up to my building, get in his car, and I was like, yeah, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And he looks at me and goes, I don't care. I will carry you on my back for the rest of my life if I have to. And I was just like, oh, he loves me.
I mean,
That's it.
28-year-old single mom
Yeah.
diagnosed with MS, trying to figure out how the fuck she's gonna make life work, and somebody tells you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I could deal with the red flags. I can make them better. And that's what I did. And then he proposed to me. He showed up at my door. I think we got in a fight. He showed up at my door with a ring and like got on one knee and like proposed to me maybe 6 months after knowing each other.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about red fucking flags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were everywhere. So yeah, I got married and had a kid and we moved back to Connecticut. The rest is history, married and had a great time and not no we didn't have a great time. There was a lot of things that happened. It was a very rocky marriage, but we did have my beautiful son who I love. And yeah, that came to a halting end. And the reason it came to a halting end was because of all the red flags that I ignored. They all eventually caught up and happened and I had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I escaped the island. Yeah.
Escape the island. That's another story.
We could talk about that. It's one for the books.
Yeah, so yeah, give some backstory on
So
the island,
the
what we're
island of
talking
Cape.
about. Yeah, yeah. What
Okay.
like what take us back? What island? Why are we on the island? How yeah.
You ready for this?
Uh,
Okay. All right. We're married. It's 2020, COVID, right? Yeah, 2020 and COVID. So, as you know, he was born and raised in a West Indian Caribbean country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And COVID was a rough time. Our marriage was very rocky, very ups and downs, mostly rocky. But I tried. I tried to stick by my vows. I tried to stand by him. He had some mental health issues, and it was rough. So anyway, our marriage was so rocky at this point that he wanted to go live the life in the islands, and we're gonna have this great life, and we're not gonna have to work as hard and blah blah blah. But I always said, like, yeah, but you still need to make money while you're there, and there's no way to really make money while you're there. Anyway, it was at the point in 2020, it was just a whirlwind. Nobody knew what was happening. Like, is the world ending? Is it not ending? Should I be in America? Like, there's so much
right.
political stuff going on, whatever. So he said, let's go to Beckway. So now I could work remotely, right? At this point. So I get permission from my job to go work in another country. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. My friends thought I was absolutely insane, which I was. And I said, listen, this is my last chance in my marriage. I said, I'm either going to come back happily married again or I'm coming back divorced, right? So I rent my house out to, thank God, people I know, her and her family. I rented out for, I said, let's do a 6 month deal. I'm committing to living there for 6 months,
Right.
right? So we get there. And my brother comes with me. Thank God he decides to come with us for the first month, okay? So we get there and we're having the time of our lives for two
Right.
weeks, right? Like 2 weeks,
So you went there when so this is 2020. What month like
October 2020.
okay,
It was
okay.
October 3rd, 2020
Okay.
is when we left. So my daughter, we took the kids, my daughter was online school. That's why we were able to do it too. And then my son had just turned 5. He was a late
Yeah,
birthday.
we
So
have kids same age. So yeah, it was
yeah.
remote kindergarten
Yeah, it
and
was
stuff.
remote kindergarten, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait a year because he's a young 5 anyway, and I'll
Right.
I'll put him back in school, and when we come back, or if we decide to live in the Caribbean, he can start then, right? So we go, having a great time, great 2 weeks, like just wonderful time. And I remember something fell off, and something had felt off for a long time, hence why I made the irrational decision to go try living in the Caribbean, right? So anyway, we decide to go to the beach one day, and I worked the first 2 weeks down there remotely, and then everybody in my company had to take a furlough, right? So that means you get laid off for like 3 weeks, but you're guaranteed your job back to like help with the loss of the company. Okay. So my after 2 weeks, it was a Friday, my furlough was starting. So I'm working from the beach on my laptop at the restaurant, blah 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 blah. And there's a swim up bar. So I close my laptop. It's like 1 o'clock on a Friday because summer Friday or whatever, Fridays we just get off at 1. So I close my laptop, done. I look at my brother. I'm like, hey, you want to go swim out to the swim up bar? He's like, yeah, let's go. So I look at my ex-husband and I tell him, hey, we're gonna go out to the swim up bar. And he was like, you mind if I come? I'm like, no, we just need somebody to watch Des. And he grew up around there. So one of the ladies on the beach said, I'll keep an eye on him. And you could see the beach from the swim up bar, but it's a
Right.
pretty good swim, I'm not gonna lie. So we go out to the swim up bar. I'm struggling halfway there. They try to send a dinghy for me, and I grew up on the water, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna make it. I'll do the backstroke, make it to the swim up bar. So me and my brother get to the swim up bar, and I see my ex-husband go up to the bar and take a shot. Now, mind you, he's not a big drinker. He actually went through AA a bunch, so I would only see him drink a glass of wine or a beer once in a while. He went many years without drinking, and I look at my brother and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Mm,
That's not good.
mm.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, let me not be controlling wife and like let's get in the water. So we start swimming around and we're chasing a turtle or whatever. And there's this girl in the water and she starts talking to us. And she was with one of her friends, was a guy, gay guys. They were just friends, platonic friendship, right? So they're talking. She's like, oh, where are you guys from? And I was like, no, we're from the States. And have you been here before? Yeah, I've been coming down here. My husband was born and raised down here. We're staying here. We have a house, blah, 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 blah. That's my husband right there. Da, 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 da. Whatever, meet this girl conversation, casual conversation, cool, blah, blah, blah. So now we've been out there for like an hour, hour and a half. And I tell the boys, my brother and my ex-husband, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to shore to go relieve her of Des. Now, mind you, Not only is it COVID, it's dengue fever, right?
Mm.
Dengue fever is the most deadly mosquito disease, and
Right.
it hadn't been on the island in 20 years.
Ooh,
So when
so
we
it's
got,
gonna,
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna wreck people when
when
they,
we
yeah.
got there, it really kills old people and young people. So when we got there, this in customs, there's a security guard being like, don't worry about COVID. You need to worry about dengue fever. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is dengue fever? And like all these like children and old people were really sick on the island from getting it's bitten by mosquitoes. Everybody needs to be in at dusk. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I
Yeah.
went from one disease to
To another,
another.
oh my
Right?
God.
So like they say, make sure you're in home at dusk. And they're spraying the island. It was really bad. So anyway, we all know this at this point. So I go back to get my son. And they said, okay, we'll be right behind you. We're gonna swim. Okay, fine. So I go and I'm in the water. I'm with my son. I'm with like people hanging out, right? And all of a sudden I see my brother behind me swimming, and I look at him and I go, "Where is you know who?
Right.
My ex-husband?" And he goes, "Oh, he said he's gonna be right behind me." So, okay. We're sitting there. Now, mind you, I'm on a very third world country island. I'm talking about the roads are like this. You drive on the left side of the road, like there's cliffs, like one wrong move, you going down. Like
Right.
it's very different. It's another world,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sitting there and it's getting a little darker. Dust is coming. The
Right.
mosquitoes are coming.
Yeah.
And my brother's looking at me. He's like, this isn't good. I go, no, this isn't good. And he was like, I need to get you guys home. I'm like, how are you gonna get me home? We drove down in a 1965 Land Cruiser stick shift diesel. My brother's never driven on this other side of the road. I don't even know how to
We
tell you to
stuck. We
get this.
stuck.
We stopped
I'm
though.
not how I don't know how to do this.
So my brother was like, "Oh, I'll get you home." Like he's like my hero. Him and my uncle are like they could do anything, right? So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna trust in him."
Right.
Right? And it's an open back. Like
Oh
you
my
sit in the back of a
gosh.
truck and there's benches next to each
Right.
other, right? So I was like, "All right, let's give this a try." So as we're going to get in there, you take my son, and now it's dark at this point. So I see my ex-husband's backpack sitting on the beach near the like little beach bar. And I say to myself, okay, let me bring that, like let me grab it. Not thinking anything malicious at the time, just
Right.
let me grab his bag. So my brother, by the grace of God, gets us home.
I
I
know.
don't even know how, to be
Oh my
honest. I mean, it's
gosh.
very treacherous driving out there. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, I can
yeah.
show you videos. Anyway, so leave it to Beaver. He gets us home and he goes, I'm gonna go look for him. So he goes out and he goes back down and he's like, I can't find him anywhere, right? And now it's like getting like 8 o'clock at night at this point. So I'm like, okay. And I just had this gut feel like bad gut feeling. And I remember, oh, I had his backpack. And I'm like, his phone is in his backpack. And I'm not one to look through phones because
Right.
I believe if I can't trust you, I don't need to be with you.
Right.
And I've been there, done that. Like I don't need my head spinning. So he says, I said to myself, I'm gonna look through his phone because he's an idiot. I know his password. He doesn't delete any text message, like email. And when I tell you, when I go through his phone, girl,
Uh-oh.
he was having an affair with babysitter.
Oh. All right, that was part one of Mom Moments with Devon with a Y. Listen on Friday for part two.